The bridge. Evelyn sat by the window of her small apartment, staring at the rain tapping softly against the glass. At 32, she felt as if life had quietly passed her by. Her friends were moving abroad, starting families, building careers. But Evelyn was stuck. Every day was the same. Wake up, work remotely, scroll through social media, and fall asleep wondering why she felt so numb. She often whispered to herself, "Maybe happiness just isn't meant for me." One rainy afternoon, an email popped up in her inbox. Subject: Volunteer opportunity. Build a bridge for the village of Cahale. It was from an old university friend, Liam, who now worked with an NGO. They were looking for volunteers to help build a pedestrian bridge in a remote mountain village. Evelyn hovered over the email. She had never done anything like this. Manual labor. In the mountains. With strangers. Her mind raced with excuses. "I'm too busy. I don't know anyone. What if I'm useless there?" But deep down something stirred, a faint spark. She clicked reply and wrote, "Count me in." A month later, Evelyn stood in Cahale, surrounded by lush forests and fog-covered hills. The air smelled of earth and pine. Around her, a dozen volunteers were already at work, hammering, measuring, carrying wooden planks. Evelyn quickly realized she was out of her comfort zone. She had never lifted heavy beams before. Her hands blistered, her muscles ached, and at night, she lay awake in her tent, exhausted and questioning her decision. "This was a mistake," she muttered. "I'm not making a difference. I'm just tired." Liam noticed her frustration and joined her by the campfire. "You know," he said, "action doesn't always feel good while you're doing it. But nothing changes if you don't try." His words lingered. Weeks passed. Slowly, Evelyn learned. She carried lighter loads at first, then gradually heavier. She watched how others tied ropes and joined beams, and one day, she surprised herself by giving instructions to a new volunteer. The villagers often came by, bringing food and cheering them on. One little girl, Mina, followed Evelyn everywhere, curious and giggling. Evelyn taught her how to hammer small nails, and Mina proudly showed off her work to everyone. The bridge began to take shape. Wooden beams stretched across the river like a promise. And for the first time in years, Evelyn felt something blooming inside her. Purpose. On the final day, the entire village gathered. Children held colorful ribbons, elders spoke prayers, and Mina ran to hold Evelyn's hand. Together, they walked across the newly built bridge. The villagers clapped and sang. Tears welled in Evelyn's eyes as she looked at the smiles around her. This was happiness, not the kind that fell from the sky, but the kind that grew from action, sweat, and shared effort. Months later, Evelyn returned home. Her apartment was the same, but she was not. She began joining community projects, painting classrooms, mentoring teens, even hiking on weekends. Life was still messy and uncertain, but she no longer waited for happiness to find her. She created it one action at a time. Evelyn's journey shows that waiting for joy keeps us trapped, but taking steps, even uncertain ones, opens the door to change. Action may not always bring happiness, but there is no happiness without action. William James.